Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, June 6th, and I'm Kristen McDonald. This week on Norwood News, we head just down the street from the studio to the newest living local. We hear all about the 2025 NHS TV NEMMY Awards. But first, the Norwood High School class of 2025 is officially alumni as they receive their awards and scholarships at Class Day on Friday and their diplomas at graduation on Sunday. Class Day was broadcasted live by a crew of current NHS students with just a little help from NCM, and every single member of the graduation day NCM crew had either graduated or will graduate from Norwood High School. The 2025 class of 245 students is the 14th to graduate from the new high school and the 152nd class overall. The newest graduates are the latest in a long line of Mustangs who worked hard for 4 years and earned the right to receive their diploma. On graduation Sunday, valedictorian Timothy Gorin and Superintendent Timothy Luff both had excellent remarks and words of wisdom for the class of 2025.
With the end of school in sight, the urge to give up hit everyone at various points in the year. Despite this, we endured, finishing strong and demonstrating an impressive level of resilience. The journey was long and at times grueling, but it was also filled with moments of humor and inspiration. Looking back on these 4 years, it might seem like we're leaving behind everything we know to step forward into an unfamiliar future, whatever that might be. College, the armed forces, careers, or any other plans we may have. I know I'll miss the reassuring familiarity of these halls, and the people who walk them. In a strange way, I think I'll even miss the things I didn't like, such as studying for tests, and possibly long lunch lines, and freezing cold classrooms. This might seem like the end of one of life's chapters, and in a way it is, but I challenge all of us to look at this in a different light. To quote Winston Churchill, "This is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end, but it is, perhaps, the end of the beginning." Today, we take what we know from this chapter to guide us into a new part of our lives, one that will feature a new set of struggles, but also new triumphs and new joys. Every one of us has the potential for greatness. Let us take what we have learned at Norwood High to build a brighter future for ourselves and for the world. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2025.
It is always about learning. Harness those lessons to make your path one that you can be proud of, one that can make you as proud of yourself as we are of you. And don't forget to dream. Earl Nightingale once said, "Never give up on a dream because of the time it will take to accomplishment." So, class of 2025, dream. Let your vision for it change as it may, but never stop. Dream and take the time and effort to make it a reality. Dream and become a person that makes a difference in this world, not only for others, but for yourself. Dream. Believe in yourself, and greatness will follow. I am so proud of you. Welcome to all of our guests, and congratulations, class of 2025.
Did you know that the hurricane season starts in June? As we head into summer, it is important to remember that the Atlantic hurricane season officially runs from June 1st to November 30th. This year, forecasters are predicting an above-average season. Norwood resident Joe Dellicarpini from the National Weather Service Boston shares insights on what we can expect and how we can prepare.
Hi everyone, this is Joe Dellicarpini, meteorologist at the National Weather Service's Boston office, taking a look today at the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season outlook from NOAA. So to begin with, here's a look at the annual tropical cyclone activity in the Atlantic. This includes hurricanes and tropical storms, and you can see the year starts off pretty slow here as we go through June and even into July, and the peak really gets going in August, with the peak occurring just around September 10th. And then we see a slow decline as we head into the month of October and finally ending around the end of November. So take a look a little bit more month by month. Starting off in June, hurricanes tend to form mostly in the Gulf of Mexico. That's where our water temperatures tend to be warmest during that time of year. Some of them will remain in the Gulf, and others will kind of recurve off through Florida and Georgia, and then usually off the coast of the Carolinas. A little bit later in the season, as we approach the peak into August, notice we start to see more development around the Caribbean, in particular, in the orange shading, but also some more activity in the Gulf and even off the East Coast. And many of the tracks either head into the Gulf or kind of recurve off the East Coast. So it's really in August, and as I go here into September, where we get into the peak of the season, where we see a lot of activity both in the Gulf of Mexico and in the Western Atlantic Ocean. And then as we head into October, notice we start to see a decline, and most of the activity goes to where the water is the warmest in the Gulf of Mexico, parts of around Cuba, and even off the East Coast where the Gulf Stream is located at that point. So, really, we have to pay attention throughout the entire summer and even into the fall, but it's really that August and September during the peak of our season where we need to be most concerned about tropical storms and hurricanes here on the East Coast.
For the hurricane season outlook for 2025, tune into the NCM Community Channel, and as always, we thank Joe for all he does for Norwood News. Clayton Cheever returns to share what summer activities are happening at the library this June, including exciting events and fresh book picks to kick off your summer reading. Let's take a look at this month's edition of Morrill Moment.
Greetings, library lovers. Welcome to the Morrill Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. This June, there is a lot to celebrate. I hope you and yours have a great Pride Month, Father's Day, Flag Day, Juneteenth, summer solstice, and all the other reasons to get together and appreciate all that we hold dear with family and friends. The library will be closed on Friday, June 13th for our annual Staff Development Day, and on Thursday the 19th for Juneteenth. I hope you'll come see us in the building and out on Norwood Common on Saturday, June 14th, when we'll be celebrating Juneteenth together with our friends across town. Every other day this month will be open until 9 at night, Mondays through Thursdays, and until 5 on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I'm Clayton Cheever. I use he, his pronouns, and I'm your library director. As summer arrives, we all know what that means. It's time to kick off summer reading. Starting on June 23rd, we have 3 summer reading challenges to help make sure Norwood's youth get the most out of summer. From beginner bookworms, toddlers and preschool-aged budding readers who can use a reading bingo challenge to read at least 5 hours a summer, reading rangers in kindergarten through 6th grade who want to set a goal to independently read at least 10 hours, and literary masterminds who want to log at least 25 hours of reading this summer. You can learn all about summer reading challenges by visiting the library or viewing our website later this month. Our Entrepreneurship 101 series continues on Monday, June 9th, when 3 local business leaders will be sharing their personal entrepreneurial journeys. Our guest this month will be Adam Romanow, founder and CEO of Castle Island Brewing Company, Poonam Mutha, co-founder, president, and chief operating officer of Oris Unified Payments Platform, and Christina Stetson, owner and director of strategy and marketing of Modern Eyes. This free program, recommended for everyone ages 16 and older, is made possible by the generous support of the Friends of the Library. Please register so they know how many people to expect and can save a seat for you. Join the fabulous Liz Barber, who has led well-loved cooking demonstrations all around the state for a delicious program about how to grow edible salad gardens. It's happening here at the library on Tuesday evening, June 17th. In addition to being a stellar chef, Liz is an avid gardener and will bring ideas you can use to design your own garden and recipes I'm sure you will adore. This program is made possible through the support of the Massachusetts Cultural Council, and advanced registration is required, so please reserve your seat today. Are you ready to hit the beach or take an epic road trip this summer? You have your sunscreen, your water, and snacks. Make sure you don't forget to queue up some great stuff to listen to and read on the go. We have several tools to help you out, and today I want to encourage you to use Libby, the library app. It's a great way to get free audiobooks and ebooks to take on the road. We have details on our website and are always happy to meet with you and help you get started. Just bring your mobile device by the library. You can even make an appointment if you anticipate needing more in-depth assistance. Just give us a call. Now, let's dive into some fantastic books. Whether you're looking for a delightful read for kids or something more profound for adult readers, we've got something special for everyone. Let's jump right in. Ashley Rhodes Corder's moving picture book, Sam is My Sister, brought vividly to life by the illustrations of Mackenzie Haley, invites young readers into a tender journey of self-discovery and empathy. Celebrating trans kids through its warm narrative and expressive artwork, this book opens hearts to the beauty of understanding and unconditional love within a family. Every page pulses with hope and acceptance. Then, here we have The Gathering Table. In this enchanting tale by Antoine Eady, with London Lad's evocative artwork guiding every turn, families come together around a table piled high with tradition, laughter, and the joys of community. Perfectly in tune with the spirit of both Pride and Juneteenth, these rich illustrations and poetic lines evoke long, sunlit afternoons full of family love under nature's canopy. For more experienced readers, I've brought these next two. Alison Cochran's novel, Here We Go Again, is a sumptuous blend of humor, heart, and unexpected twists. In this queer rom-com, childhood friendships, rivalries, and heartfelt reunions unfold during a cross-country road trip, turning the miles into a journey of self-discovery. With an authenticity that resonates long after the last page is turned, the story interweaves nostalgia with contemporary insights, ideal for those seeking both laughter and introspection on a balmy summer evening. Finally, I'm happy to share The Black Joy Project. Cleaver Cruz's masterful work is a celebration of life's vibrant tapestry, a visual and textual love letter to Black culture and resilience. Each page bursts with radiant art and photography accompanied by poignant essays, capturing joy as both a personal triumph and a powerful form of resistance. More than just a book, this is an inspirational experience that challenges, uplifts, and invites us to revel in the power of collective celebration. It may surprise you to learn that in addition to all the books we have for you to read here at the library, we have books you can borrow to color. Coloring books aren't just for kids. Lots of us find coloring to be a very relaxing way to spend some time. And not only do we have books, we also have collections of colored pencils, crayons, and markers you can borrow. These and so many other great pieces of equipment, musical instruments, games, and more can be found in our Library of Things. Visit our website and browse our Library of Things from the Books and More menu to see what other treasures we have waiting for you. Now, before I sign off, I want to thank our dear friends of the library. Anytime the library is open, you can browse their ongoing book sale in the Nook just by the door to our parking lot. We are grateful to everyone who came by and supported their spring book sale last month. Proceeds from these sales provide support for library programs throughout the year, including the funds for crafts and supplies for programs for kids and teens. This month, they also provided the funds for the screening and discussion of Heightened Scrutiny on June 2nd, the Lessons for Local Business Leaders on the 9th, the Puzzle Race on the 14th, and Prizes for Summer Reading, which starts on June 20th. Please make sure you have an active membership in the Friends and support them whenever possible, as they make possible so much of what we present here. We are grateful for all the support. That's a wrap for this Morrill Moment. I'm Clayton Cheever, your guide through the wonders of the library, wishing you a joy-filled June. We can't wait to see you at the library. Until next time, happy reading.
When Norwood News returns, we get some updates about the Norwood Fire Department. Caitlin Hamway shares what's happening in school news, and Ron Marshalsea has one of the last sports updates for the 2024-25 school year.
Hi everybody, I'm Ernie Pachakowski of Ernie's Jukebox with Norwood's local music scene. This week's feature album is Jefferson Airplane, Takes Off. This is before Gracie Slick joined the band. It was their first album. So let's get right to what's happening this week in Norwood. Down at the Fallout Shelter, Thursday, June 12th, the Selwyn Birchwood Band is playing. Experience the future of the blues with their electric swamp blues sound, with some deep blues, rock, funk, and southern soul. On Friday night, June 13th, it's the annual Fallout Shelter Blues Bash with Daryl Nellish Band and Sugar Ray and the Blue Tones. If you like the blues, then you can't miss this show. And on Saturday night, June 14th, it's the Mark Elray Duo with James Rohr. Mark brings his distinctive blend of rock, folk, and Americana drawing from his classic rock icons with James Rohr on keyboards. This should be another great show. And that's it for this week's Norwood News Scene. Remember, a lot of the pubs around town feature local live music as well, so check them out. So for Norwood News, I'm Ernie Pachakowski. Get out and catch some great local live music. Be there or be square.
Last week, NHS TV hosted their annual NEMMY Awards night in the NHS Auditorium, highlighting the work done by the NHS TV students. NHS alumni were on hand to share their experiences and handed out awards to the current NHS TV students.
The NEMMY'S, it stands for Norwood Emmys. It's an opportunity that we at the end of the school year in late May, we develop a scripted live broadcast award show for the TV students. That is an opportunity to showcase again some of the students' best work and also celebrate and award students who really did, the very best, the top of the line in any particular category. So some NEMMY categories would be Best Commercial or Best PSA, Feature Stories, Short Films, and then each level also, we award students in TV1, TV2, and the advanced classes. So there's also a rising star in each level. Then we have a segment of the year. We have a student of the year. This year's student of the year was Sam Gurney.
The NHS TV NEMMYs are just a great way to celebrate all the accomplishments and achievements of the high school TV students here at Norwood High. This year we tried something a little bit different, and I reached out to the last 3 student of the years and to see if they would come, kind of reflect back on how NHS TV's affected their lives and what they're doing now in college. And we also invited some alumni to come back to kind of make it a more of a reunion thing. And we had reunions with students, and we had the crew was alumni working it, and it really turned into a real welcome back home kind of night.
This year was particularly special to me because I'm now ending my 4th year at Norwood High School. So this year's seniors started Norwood High School when I did. I love calling them my guinea pigs because when I started teaching at Norwood High School days before the school year began. So they learned and grew with me every step of the way. And so, yeah, so it was particularly special to have taken that journey with this same set of kids throughout the 4 years was remarkable.
The Norwood Fire Department has been quite busy over the past couple of weeks, keeping the community updated on all that's been going on. The fire department recently responded to a rollover on University Ave and Everett Street, advising anyone near the area at the time to avoid it. On Tuesday, a fire erupted at Launch Trampoline Park. The NFD had this to say on their Facebook page. This afternoon, shortly before 2 p.m., Holbrook Regional Emergency Communications Center notified companies of a central station alarm and master box being received for 570 Boston Providence Highway at Launch. Upon arrival, NC2 was advised of a possible fire in the building. Ladder 1 made entry and encountered a heavy smoke condition and active fire inside the building. NC2 struck a working fire, bringing both Norwood ambulances and Walpole engine to the scene. A Westwood engine was dispatched to cover the station. Engine 6 responded from another call in town and upon arrival stretched a hose line into the building to assist Ladder 1 in extinguishing the fire. The building remained charged with smoke. Crews on scene performed a primary search and overhauled checking for extension. Due to the significant smoke condition, a specialty ventilation truck designed for large commercial buildings was requested from Middleborough Fire. Crews remain on scene along with Norwood Police Department and the State Fire Marshal's Office. During this time, off-duty Norwood firefighters were called in to cover the station with the Westwood engine. As always, thank you to our mutual aid partners for answering the call for assistance. Now let's throw it over to Caitlin Hamway for the latest in school news.
I'm Caitlin Hamway, and let's check out what's happening in our Norwood schools. In Norwood High School news, the NHS TV 3 and 4 students, including me, went on a field trip and traveled to a music club that also doubles as a video production facility that broadcasts live concert videos. we boarded the bus and traveled 1 mile to the fallout shelter located right down the street from Norwood High School. Jack Tolman, manager of TV video for the school department, coordinated the trip to this unique nonprofit music venue.
I've been to the fallout shelter many times, and I really enjoy the music there. But at the same time, I'm watching the camera operators, listen to the audio mix and the way they're cutting between the cameras, and that's part of the experience. I became friendly with Bill Hurley, and we've had multiple conversations about how we can maybe collaborate and get the NHS TV students down to the fallout shelter for a field trip, and we finally pulled it off.
Fallout Shelter is a listening room. First and foremost, we're not a restaurant. Music is the focus of everything that we do here. Music, live streaming, and recording and filming our live television show, the extended play sessions. But most importantly for the audience and for the artists, the experience here is just about the music.
As a nonprofit, part of their mission is to promote and share live music, be part of the local music community, and give back to the town. One of their goals is to offer a variety of educational programs in a group setting.
Oh, I think giving back to the community of Norwood is probably first and foremost on my mind when thinking about doing stuff like this. Plus, I worked with kids over at Franklin TV for many, many years. I love the enthusiasm. I love the way that kids absorb information and new and exciting kind of settings. And this was a no-brainer for me to bring the kids in from Norwood High and give a little bit back to the community of Norwood, which has really, really been great to us.
I'm so grateful that Bill and Connor at the Fallout Shelter took so much time with my advanced TV students on the day we went to visit the Fallout Shelter, really letting them explore the equipment, showing them all of the cool camera boom and their entire setup, their audio and editing setup. And my students had the chance to play around with this equipment, be hands-on in a real-life situation. So it gives them the sense that what they're learning in the classroom is completely applicable to a job that they can do right here in Norwood, right in our backyards, is this facility where everything that they're learning in the classroom, they can apply right there and find jobs that are similar to this.
You know, I think most importantly is that all of the skills that they're using are applicable in a number of different ways. There's not just one thing that while they might just be doing one thing in the classroom setting or in the setting that they're in right now, that these kind of skills can be used for a number of different things all through your life.
Everyone at NHS TV and the Fallout Shelter believe that this is the start of a great partnership, and everyone is excited for future trips and new ideas. In celebration of our 2025 NHS senior class, Norwood School Nutrition hosted an outdoor barbecue. The menu included hot dogs, cheeseburgers, and tender barbecue ribs. Seniors enjoyed the food in the company of their friends and teachers. School Nutrition wants to congratulate the class of 2025 and best of luck on their next journey. At the Coakley Middle School, after reading Danielle's story and learning about the events of the Holocaust, Grade 6 was fortunate enough to have Mrs. Applefield come in to speak firsthand about her experiences during this time period. Given that World War II ended 80 years ago, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the students to hear a Holocaust survivor speak to them in person. Her story was inspiring and powerful, and all participants left promising to share Miss Applefield's story. It's been busy at the Callahan School. They handed out more care cards, held a Memorial Day ceremony, and performed their spring concert on stage. At the Cleveland School, the third graders learned firsthand about rainforest reptiles and animals in an assembly that focused on conservation. Students had a chance to observe and touch an array of animals, including an alligator, a turtle, a snake, and lizards. The Prescott School held its annual Grandparents' Day. This is a great opportunity for grandparents of students to visit the school and see their grandkids in action. They had a packed cafeteria to start the festivities. Principal Brian Riley gave an introduction and there were some light refreshments for guests. Then, grandparents went into the classroom and saw their grandkids participate in reading centers, writing activities, math lessons, art with Miss O, and coding in the library. It was so wonderful to see the relationship students have with their grandparents and hear stories of how different school is today. There was a slideshow running in the lobby and cafeteria for grandparents to see the school year in review. They even had 3 grandparents Zoom in virtually from India and other parts of the United States. Kindergarten students at the Willett have been on the move over the past few weeks. They had a wonderful field trip to the Franklin Park Zoo. Even though it was a cold and rainy day, they had so much fun. The following week, they hiked the Germany Brook Trail behind the school. The students navigated the trail, observed the plants, and kept their eyes peeled for insects and animals. And speaking of animals, they have baby chicks hatching. So exciting. They had another big visit to see where they will go to school in first grade. They'd like to give a special shout out to their own Miss Mendoza, who was nominated for and won the Norfolk County Teachers Association Rookie of the Year Award. They are so proud of her. As the school year winds down, the youngest Mustangs at Little Mustang Preschool Academy are diving into summer with a splash of creativity and learning through themed celebration days. From pirate hats to bubble wands, classrooms have transformed into imagination wonderland where education meets play. These themed days are a fun way to keep the children engaged while reinforcing skills they've learned all year. They don't even realize they're still learning because they're having so much fun. With costumes, songs, craft, and interactive activities, the final weeks of preschool are full of joy, imagination, and growth, making for a memorable send-off to summer. That wraps up this week's school news. A big thank you to all the teachers who keep us in the loop with their updates. It really helps us see the wonderful things happening in our schools. Reporting for Norwood School News, I'm Caitlin Hamway. And now here's Ron Marshalsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshalsea, and this is your Sports Update. Before we get into the tournament results, the Spring Sports Awards were held last Wednesday, sending the seniors off into the sunset with some awards and recognition, and getting the upcoming seniors and juniors ready for the 2025-26 seasons. Congratulations on all your accomplishments, and good luck to the class of 2025 and to the classes of 26, 27, 28, and 29. Your fall season starts right now. The softball team made it to the round of 32 and went up against the Black Knights in Stoughton Monday afternoon. The Mustangs had good bits of hitting, but Stoughton's pitching was lights out and their bats were on fire, ending the game after 5 innings. This Mustang team is similar to some others in that there are plenty of returning athletes and even more on their way up the Norwood softball program as we speak. The girls lacrosse team couldn't move on to the round of 16 after they lost their game this past Saturday to East Longmeadow. Good luck to their seniors, and just like softball, there are plenty of young Mustangs coming up through the program to help this team year after year. In collegiate news, NHS class of 2021 Robbie Wachowski traveled to Ohio and helped lead the Endicott Gulls baseball team to their first NCAA semifinals in program history, and their third College World Series appearance in a row. Wachowski is now also in the history books at Endicott because in their elimination game win against New Jersey's Keene College, Wachowski blasted his 28th home run of his career, solidifying him as the all-time home run leader at Endicott. And just for good measure, in their loss to Messiah University of Pennsylvania, he hit another home run to bring his total to 29 and made sure whoever wants to break his record has to hit 30. And that is all I have for this sports update. I'm Ron Marshalsea, and Norwood News will be right back, but first, here is an NCM exclusive. President of the Norwood High School Athletic Hall of Fame, Brian McDonough, came to our studios to announce the 2025 Hall of Fame inductees. Norwood Community Media is proud to broadcast this event live on Saturday, November 29th.
Hello, my name is Brian McDonough, President of the Norwood High Athletic Hall of Fame. We are back this year to recognize 6 Norwood High School athletes and a special contributor who have made significant contributions to the Norwood High athletic programs. Before I announce the new inductees, I would like to recognize the members of the Hall of Fame committee and give a little history of the organization. The Norwood High Hall of Fame has been in existence for many years. and had become dormant until 2007. A group of alumni and residents came together and created bylaws and qualifications for the inductees. Jim Gormley, a longtime Norwood historian and former school committee member, was our first president and served for 10 years. The early inductions were held at the Elks, and a meal was provided for a fee. When the new high school was built, we moved the ceremony to the Norwood High School auditorium, with light refreshments offered in the dining hall. Moving the ceremony to the high school allowed us to offer the program for free to the inductees, their families, and the community. Thanks to Jack Tolman and the crew at Norwood Community Media, we've been able to live stream the ceremony. A big part of the ceremony has been the highlight video that Jack produces, showing the inductees in action and hearing testimony from former teammates and coaches. After 17 very successful seasons, the committee met to review and update the bylaws and nomination forms. We have 4 new Norwood High School Hall of Famers join our committee. The new members include Norwood High School math teacher Jim Sweeney, class of 1997, and fellow classmate Allison Dixon Baranowski from 1997, Lisa Davenport Reginini from the class of 2003, and Allie Maloof, who is presently the Stonehill softball coach. This group brought renewed energy and suggestions to make our program and selection process even better. I'd like to give a shout out to our officers and committee members. Without their efforts, we would not be able to recognize some of Norwood's best. Vice President Jack Tolman, class of 81, Secretary Paula Pelagi, longtime Spanish teacher here at the high school, honorary 09, Treasurer Dan Kennedy, class of 78, our program coordinator who does the book for us, Peter McFarland, 07 honorary, Kathy Shakoy, Hall of Fame coach, teacher, 40 years of being involved at Norwood High, Jerry Miller from the class of 1965, Joanne Gleason from the class of 74, Nora Glenn, class of 76, longtime teacher and coach here at the high school, Tricia Brown, class of 83, Hall of Famer at Norwood High School and present Stonehill basketball coach, Brian McKenna, class of 1987, and John Longley, the athletic director. At this time, I'd like to announce the 2025 Norwood High Hall of Fame inductees. First, from the class of 1971, Joe Pacello. Joe was the captain of both the basketball and baseball team. A multi-time Bay State League All-Star, Joe was a quiet leader and one of the most versatile players on both teams. He led the basketball team to a big win over Don Bosco at the Garden. Playing for legendary baseball coach Pete Wall, Joe had a batting average over 400. Next, Frank Civittone, class of 1973. One of Norwood's greatest wrestler, a legendary weightlifter and humanitarian, Frank won every match his senior year by pin, many times in the first 30 seconds. Frank also won the Lowell tournament that had some of the best wrestling teams throughout New England. He was inducted to the Mass Wrestling Hall of Fame last year. From the class of 1978, Scott Fisk, Boston Globe, Boston Herald, Patriot Ledger, all-scholastic hockey goalie. In Scott's senior year, the team went 16-0-1. He had a 1.88 goals against average and finished the last 9 games with only 9 goals against. Scott went on to play hockey at Providence College. Jason Nutting, class of 1994, a 2-sport athlete in football and baseball, a multi-time Bay State League All-Star. He led the league his junior year and batted over .525 his senior year. A Boston Globe and Herald All-Scholastic player, he is also a member of the Globe Super Team. Next, Jack Dixon, class of 2001. Jack comes from a long history of Norwood athletes, including his Hall of Fame grandfather and sister. Jack excelled in both football and basketball. A two-way player on the 2001 Super Bowl team, he made an impact on both sides of the ball. On the basketball court, Jack was a 1,000-point scorer and helped lead the team to the state semifinals at the Boston Garden. A Globe All-Scholastic, Jack went on to play basketball at Assumption College. Casey Smith, class of 2015, will be inducted on her first year of eligibility. A 3-sport athlete in field hockey, ice hockey, and lacrosse, she was a force on every team. In field hockey and ice hockey, she was a Bay State League and Global Scholastic. She set many high school records here for Norwood in both hockey and field hockey. Casey continued her field hockey career at Stonehill College, where she continues setting new records for the school. Our final recognition is our Blue and Gold Award. This award goes to someone who has made a significant impact to the community volunteering. This year's award goes to Rick Morrison. Rick has done more for the youth and Norwood teams than most people realize. For the past 40 years, he's been the guy coordinating field use, lining fields every week. I had the good fortune to work with Rick as the athletic director during my time here at Norwood High School and during the construction of the high school. Rick would stay in constant communication to work with the school program and the youth program. Rick truly represents volunteerism and so worthy of the Blue and Gold Award. As I wrap up, I want to remind the people Norwood High Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony will take place on Saturday, November 29th. More information will be coming in the fall. Congratulations to all our inductees, and also congratulations to all of Norwood High graduating seniors this year. Go Mustangs!
Jody Smith kicked off Wednesday's school committee meeting with public comment, sharing that Jill Driscoll received the Honor Award at the 42nd Annual Norfolk County Teachers Award Ceremony. We lost Jill earlier this school year. The Service Award was given to paraprofessional Fred Ferreira from the Callahan School, and Rookie of the Year went to Bella Inzada from the Willett for the 2025 Norfolk County Teachers Association. Following that, elementary principals Diane Ferreira and Brian Riley and middle school principal Dr. Margot Frasick each discussed the school handbooks, which the committee approved. Dr. Nadine Ekstrom gave an in-depth presentation on the Special Education Academic Discovery Student Audit Service. She began by discussing the process of the research conducted as well as the 7 identified areas of study. These included areas of promise, growth, and recommendations for each focus area. One of the significant concerns Nadine Ekstrom discussed was the unfamiliarity with the District Curriculum Accommodation Plan, also known as DCAP.
There were also concerns around understanding the roles and responsibilities of the DCAP. This was a big concern. I will tell you that I have been doing trainings on the new IEP this past year across many districts across Massachusetts and in Rhode Island. And the DCAP is becoming our #1 conversation. It is part of Mass General Law. It's section 38Q1/2. I think you and I had that conversation,
We did.
Right? That it is a part of Mass General Law, and it's an expectation that all educators must provide accommodations to students, regardless of whether they have a disability or not. And so because it's the law, we should be very familiar with it. And there were a lot of teachers that didn't know about it. There were a lot of parents that didn't know about it. So it's a conversation that should be, but I will say to you, Norwood is not, that is the norm. Norwood is not unusual in that sense. This has become a big conversation. And so there's also concerns around the increase, obviously, in your out-of-district placements and where that's coming from.
Following the presentation, the committee asked questions and shared their overall thoughts on how they will move forward with the recommendations given. A representative from the Special Education Parent Advisory Council, known as CPAC, gave an update sharing the overview of the year so far. One of the positives she discussed was the consolidation of the elementary PACS program into a single school. Superintendent Luff then congratulated a few NHS seniors on receiving the MA-FLA Student Awards of Excellence. Budget was pretty light for the school committee, and they began to discuss the future FY27 budget calendar. The school committee will meet again on June 18th. Representatives of the Norwood Theater appeared before the planning board on Monday night for a public hearing to review the site plan for installing a new air conditioning and heating unit at the Norwood Theater. The mechanical engineer for the project spoke, and the board approved the site plan with the conditions.
You looking for a motion?
I am.
I'll make a motion to approve with the condition of the pre-construction meeting. Final details will be worked out. Does that work?
Second.
Is that agreeable?
Yeah, we're gonna put in there that a pre-construction meeting be conducted with the building commissioner. Any recommended changes from the fire department to improve roof access. We have our ladder truck back now, so that's good. Shall be incorporated into the plans. Those are the two things that we're recommending you put in the motion. Seconded by Brian. Any further comments, questions?
No, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye, 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 aye.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anissa Ellis of Vertex recapped the status of construction at the new Coakley Middle School and proposed a list of site plan modifications, which the board motioned to continue to their next meeting on June 16th for further review. The meeting concluded with a presentation on the proposed subdivision regulations. The regulations have not been changed since 2012. The board provided feedback on the presentation and will continue to discuss. Continued from the May 6 meeting, the Zoning Board of Appeals resumed discussions in the case of 707 Neponset Street, the Norwood Gulf gas station. During the hearing, attorney for the applicant, David Hearn, reviewed several conditions that will need to be met if the special permit is approved, including landscaping, lighting, and fuel delivery schedules. Abutters and members of the community attended the meeting and spoke out against the proposed expansion. Ultimately, the board continued the hearing until its next meeting on July 1st. Chairman Michael Sheehan specified some items he would like to see at the next meeting in July.
I'd like to see a couple of things for the landscape architect or engineer. I want to see a detail of the lighting. We talk about simply put on there the wall pack. I'd like to see a detail that you see in plans of what the actual light looks like, what's its candle, bulb wattage, and
sheets for that?
Yeah, they have cut sheets for that. You're very aware of that. So I'd like to see that so that we're approving that. If you do have the ability in the next month to get us a cut sheet on the brick veneer that you're using, so we have an idea what we're looking at. And then obviously the landscaping plan, according with the members that wanted to see it along the, looks like the north and west side and also along East Cross Street, a landscaping plan that includes all of that. And the landscaping plan, you know, the type of tree.
Like the Cadillac.
Yeah, the arborvitaes seem to work the best. Snow storage you're aware of. Hours, we said 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
We've discussed this, but no customer access.
Yeah, so signage
just about to say, yeah.
Signage that either painted on the asphalt that says no customer, or a sign that, so no customers drive to the back there.
Yeah,
You have it on there too.
You have it on there?
Yeah,
Okay.
no parking, when it meets here, so customer.
Yeah, so if a customer was coming in off of the East
Yeah.
Cross Street curb, so they didn't take a left like into the back of your parcel, right?
I don't like the relocation of the air and vacuum machine, because I think it gets to Al's point, gets chaos. Right? You're putting it right out onto the side, onto that corner there. You've got signs there now, so I don't see how that's gonna work. I know a little extra money, but I don't think that's a good spot for it. I'd like to see it go somewhere else, because I think, go ahead.
I just want to note we're actually responding to Ms. Dixon's comment at the meeting of trying to get that out of there for similar issues.
Okay.
The Zoning Board of Appeals will meet again July 1st. On Thursday, May 29th, the Engineering Department held a stormwater regulation public hearing. The purpose of the hearing was to adopt stormwater regulations to control the runoff from new development and redevelopment projects. The goal is to mitigate pollutants from entering waterways and provide some flooding prevention. Phil Paredes from the Beta Group presented the proposed regulations and the new permitting process that the Stormwater Regulation Authority will manage. These were developed to meet EPA requirements that have been put in place over many years, as well as the stormwater bylaw adopted in 2022. Following the presentation and public comment, the proposed stormwater regulations were adopted. The Historical Commission met at the Morse House on Washington Street this past Tuesday morning for their first meeting since February. The Commission had a full agenda, beginning with agreeing to send the grant application for the Morse House to the Massachusetts Cultural Council. The Commission then brought up the fact that St. Gabriel's Chapel and Highland Cemetery should be listed on the National Registry of Historic Places, so they are submitting an application for those two sites. They reviewed the master plan and then discussed the Norwood Central Railroad Station building and the wall that's being built at Shattuck Park. The meeting concluded with a discussion about a historic garden at George H. Morse House, which is planned for some point in the future. To see the full school committee, planning board, zoning board, historical commission meetings, or the stormwater public hearing from this past week, be sure to stay tuned to the NCM government channel or find them on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Jerry Slater had the opportunity to talk with newly minted Recreation Superintendent Sam White on Your Town at Work. Learn about all the services and activities the Rec Department has to offer, as well as a little bit about Sam himself. The full episode is now airing on NCM Community Channel.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and you've got, you said it well, welcoming faces at that front desk. There's always someone with a smile on their face and willing to help.
Most definitely.
Now, the part-timers, I mean, it's just amazing to me, and having had one of my son was a counselor for a good number of years. He was a camper, and then he was a counselor, which is and I was loving the Throwback Thursday Rec Department photos where you're seeing people just comment on that was like the greatest time being at play camp and then working at play camp. What's that like, trying to staff up for the summer?
Yeah, so it's actually a fun process. I mean, since I've been here, we've been fortunate on the the summer program side with our counselors, where we've seen a lot of returners, and we do see a lot of new applicants as well. So it can get fairly competitive with the hiring, but what you do see a lot of is what you just said. Like, they were in our programs, from a young age, and now they just got to the point where they can become a counselor. And a lot of times, like throughout our interviews, you'll hear that, where they'll say, I was a camper when, and now I want to be a counselor, and I want to be that leader for the youth of my community, which is great.
On this week's Living Local, we head to a hidden gem in the Norwood community. Tucked right inside her own home, Chrissy Gagliard has created a warm, welcoming space where little ones can grow, learn, and feel right at home. Let's head down to 19 Hoyle Street and take a look at Chrissy's little preschool.
My name is Chrissy Gagliard, and I am the owner-director of Chrissy's Little Preschool. So the preschool is in a duplex. We live on one side, and the school is its whole separate entity on the other side, which gives it a very homey feeling for very young kids to have their first school experience away from their parents in a very warm and loving environment. I find it's small numbers, so our ratio is 2 to 10. So we can have one teacher with 4 kids to work with them on things that they're trying to learn, things that they struggle with. If we have separation anxiety, we have the ability to do one-on-ones, and I love that it's a smaller environment because I can see if there's something going on, or if they need a little more attention with certain things, or if they just need one-on-one time because they miss mom and dad. It's a really nice, warm environment where we can do one-on-ones, or have a smaller group so that they can express themselves better, or I don't know. It's just, I love the small community part of it too, and I love it. I love little kids. I love kids. I love their stories. I love their unconditional love of everything. I love how everything excites them. I love it. I honestly love it. I have 10 kids, so it makes a big difference with some of these other preschools. They're larger, and you kind of get lost in the shuffle, and here you still have that feeling of being home. I've always been word of mouth. We're a very community school. Police officers' kids, firefighters' kids, we've had a lot of teachers' kids, local businesses, Lewis's parents have all come here, and it's all word of mouth, and I love that because then I know the person and they know about me, and they're dropping their child off for the first time ever, their most precious cargo, you know, and so it's nice to kind of know the person that, you know, you're dropping them off to, and a reference, and so I'm a lot through word of mouth, and you know, I have my little silly sign in front of the house, but I should probably get a better one. It's my home, you know what I mean? So you have to be really careful of like who comes in, you know, and it's a like this place that the kids come over, the dog come over, like it couldn't be a more homey experience than you have here at CLP. I have to honestly say that. It's like being in your aunt's living room. And they learn a lot, like they learn a lot. We learn through play, you know, we do math, science, reading, all through play, and they don't even know they're doing it. I believe that kids should play at this age, play, because you get into the elementary schools and it's very, you know, different. Bigger classroom sizes, which is, you know, gonna happen, and but more structured, and here they play. We throw independence, like they come in and put their lunches away. They open up all their stuff at lunches. They hang up their coats, they put away their mittens, they put away their boots, their shoes. Little tiny things like that are huge, because then they go home and I have parents going, oh my gosh, they hung up their coat, and they knew where their folder was, and they knew where their backpack was, because when you get to the Willett, it's, you know, a lot of kids for 2 teachers, and so this way you got these kids that are leaving me going, all my stuff is accounted for, and I can go to lunch and open up all my stuff, and I don't need help if there's not enough volunteers. Or so I stress a lot of independence. So it's a lot of stuff that they don't even know they're learning, that they are, you know, putting on your shoes, retying shoes, you know, how to get dressed from boots to snow pants to jackets to hats, like what you do first. Like people put a lot of that stuff for granted, but yeah, and it's part of learning. So they can go and be like, oh, I got this, you know, when they go off to kindergarten. I feel like when my kids leave, they are so ready for kindergarten, so ready. Call me, come for a tour. You really can't get a feel of it until you walk in. I think you guys agree. You walk in and it's a whole different, you know, pictures from Facebook are one thing, but you come in and you meet me and you see what we're like, and it's definitely like a place that you're going to love to send your kids for the first time. And we take 2, we start at 2 and go all the way up to 5. I know 2 is that tough age where you're trying to figure out they're a little too old for daycare, a little too young for a public preschool, so we're here. We're here.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.